Anti-Semitic attacks and acts of intimidation against Jews in Europe have soared by 37% in the first half of this year. Attacks against Muslims on the continent also increased by 15%. After both communities recently faced unprecedented attempts to impose legislation against several of their most sacred religious practices. Jewish and Muslim leaders recently got together in Paris in an effort to find common ground and move forward, as we see in this report filed by special IBA correspondent Leah Zinder.
A warm handshake. Nothing remarkable there until you consider the context. 21st century Europe has been marked by escalating tension and violent flare-ups between Jews and Muslims, most tragically in Toulouse, the massacre earlier this year of a rabbi and 3 small children by an Islamist terrorist.
And yet, despite all this, you came here. Why?
Why I came? No, because if we don't do anything to make the situation more quiet, so we'll have to leave Toulouse and to go, I don't know, in Israel, or because the situation is really very difficult in Toulouse for Jews now.
It was against this strained backdrop that New York Rabbi Mark Schneier, in cooperation with the Grand Mosque of Paris and the European Jewish Congress, managed to bring together 70 imams, rabbis and lay leaders from 18 countries for the second gathering of European Muslim and Jewish leaders.
But last week, here in Europe, in Berlin, a rabbi and his daughter were beaten by a group of Muslim youth. Last week, a rabbi in Vienna was attacked by a group of neo-Nazis. I just learned before entering this room that just yesterday, a group of Jewish school children in Berlin were attacked by a group of Muslim youth. And I challenge Muslim leaders across Europe to speak out for the other, to fight for the other, to make this injustice your injustice, to make this bigotry your bigotry.
This must come from within the Muslim community. Until we can identify, until we can challenge Muslim leaders to stand up and to challenge these extremists within their community, nothing is going to change. And I believe that we can identify those leaders, that we can challenge those leaders. There is an internal struggle that is going on worldwide within Islam. It behooves us to strengthen the voice of the moderates.
The 2-day Paris gathering issued a declaration vowing a policy of zero tolerance against leaders of any faith who misuse their pulpits to incite religious bigotry.
My 42 years of living in Europe have shown an example to Rabbi Schneier that I'm standing shoulder to shoulder with Jewish community. I am against those bigoted Muslims who are attacking Jewish community, and my personal experience in Brighton and many other parts of UK is well known.
I see that there is a lot of extremism also in Israel. So this is in both groups. So what we can do is, us who are not on this way, or we must try to stop it together. We cannot stop it alone. Muslims, we cannot do this alone. But we need the Jewish leaders, the religious leaders, help in it. And also the Jewish leaders, they cannot do it alone. They need us. We need each other, simply.
We cannot wait that we achieve a full trust between us. But what we can do, we can make a first step toward building trust in the future. I think that we have no choice.
But the gathering also addressed the daunting challenges being faced together by both Muslims and Jews in Europe today. The looming threat of a ban on circumcision and the ritual slaughter of animals, kashrut and halal.
It's a most terrible thing. The people who are against circumcision are claiming that it traumatizes the child. We are traumatized by the anti-Semitism. And yet so many statements have been made saying that the children are harmed by this. It has no basis in fact, and usually when something has no basis in fact, there's a deeper issue which lies behind it.
We can try to help each other, help the institutions and the society to get to know what are the true reasons of our religious practices, and to avoid some extremism of secularistic tendencies that would like to create a new artificial society where all religious symbolism is abolished.
These, along with the rise of far-right extremism in Europe, have given Jews and Muslims good reasons to stand together in the tough battle ahead.
We are neither stranger nor guests here, but full citizens of this continent. We are partners with those of all faiths in the promotion and respect of the basic European values, its rules and laws. Our faiths, our religious identities are complementary values to the values of Europe. There are no contradictions.
As the 17 Muslim and Jewish leaders left Paris to return to the harsh realities of their hometowns, they vowed to stand together against extremism within their communities and beyond. As one of them said, "We haven't yet found the way, but we've begun the journey." Leah Zinder for IBA News in Paris.